So one big question I have, because I know a lot of us are very much the same. You were a fan of someone when you were watching, but then you appreciated someone else once you started working that you may not have realized how good they were. Like for me personally, Jeff Jarrett was one of those where I could give a shit about Jeff Jarrett. He drove me crazy. I hated him. And then when I started working and met the guy, it helps when you get paid by him too. But he is a sweetheart of a man, and you realize, holy shit, he's good at literally everything. But do you have someone like that for you that maybe you were watching, you're like, they're awesome, and then, man, they're not so awesome, and then someone else that you're like, oh, wow, they are awesome, and I didn't know.
I grew up, in the 80s when wrestling had larger-than-life characters. So, I love Bruce Beefcake. What kid didn't love Bruce Beefcake? Yeah. And you realize you get around him, and you're like, God, this guy sucks, and he's horrible, and not even a nice person.
Yeah.
And then you see guys that were like, Mr. Perfect, who I could have cared less about Mr. Perfect. He was a boring guy with the blonde hair that, wrestled in a singlet and did nothing fancy. But now you watch his work, and he could have hung with anybody. I mean, and everybody respects him. I mean, Eric Bischoff will start crying when he starts talking about him because he misses him so much. And guys like that, Perfect. Rick Martel was another one.
Yes, that's a very big one.
That model gimmick is, I loved Jacques Rougeau growing up. That was like one of my favorite guys, and he is a difficult guy to get along with. But if you watch him in the ring, he made the most of everything he ever did. No question. So, yeah.
Do you still have an all-time favorite wrestler and an all-time favorite tag team?
The tag team obviously is the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Because we had similar movesets: punch, kick, body slam. No, I love them growing up. The Road Warriors. And then as far as a singles wrestler, I would. As a kid, it changed, and now it's like going back. Rick Martel, Jacques Rougeau, Paul Roma did everything right. I know everyone's going to get on me right now and say, oh, Kross likes Roma because he was a body guy. Well, yeah, he was a body guy, but he worked his way up from being a job guy in like 86 to being a top level tag team with Hercules, and then becoming, one of the members of the Four Horsemen. It wasn't his fault that he shouldn't have been there, but it was just, it's, watching guys like that to do everything right, do everything smart. Like, I was never a Warrior fan. I didn't really like Hogan. I always thought it sucked because he came in and like won all the Royal Rumbles and stuff. So
to touch on Paul Roma, one of my favorite tag teams are up there is Power and Glory. I absolutely loved Power and Glory. Amazing. I was probably one of the few people that was excited about Paul Roma being a horseman. And then, yes, you realize he didn't fit personality-wise, but work-wise, he fit. Hey, watching him and Anderson tag together, outstanding. And for those who know Rick Martel primarily as the model, watch him in the AWA and then even go into 98 WCW. He had an awesome run there, So
Martel's match against Stan Hansen at Comiskey, just amazing. You talk about two guys contrasting styles. I mean, as far as Power and Glory, yes, one of my favorite tag teams at that time.
And the finisher,
yes, the super
Powerplex,
Powerplex. But watching him and Paul Orndorff. Pretty wonderful. In WCW, 93, 92, like, they were fantastic.
I thought that was his bread and butter there in WCW.
Yep. And that's kind of why he got that Horseman gig, I think, was because of the fact that he did so well in that group, and with in that tag team. So